Beement.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus, offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more. Observant eyes may have recently noticed a new piece of equipment near the football field at Clinton High School. Spencer Thomas, general manager at Baum Chevy Buick, told the Heart Media Group that the idea was proposed by Maroons football assistant coach Darren Moser to donate a trailer. He says what started as just an idea snowballed into a donation of a 16-foot equipment trailer.
Yes, Darren Moser actually reached out in January just with the spitball of an idea about a trailer, and if we ever had one that was available, even using a rental trailer for the purpose of the football team and other athletics. We kind of started kicking that around internally, and next thing you know, we've got a wrap trailer sitting on high school property. Yeah, so it's a 7x16 tandem axle Discovery trailer. It's the type of trailer that we have at our Farmer City store and we have in our rental fleet. The timing kind of worked out really good. We had a trailer coming out of our rental service, and we always look to do something with those. This one fit the bill for what the high school is looking for. So we decided that we were going to go ahead and donate it. The idea of a wrap was thrown around. We went whole hog on it and decided let's just wrap the whole thing and get it done.
Thomas explains that it was an easy decision to show their gratitude to the Clinton School District through this donation. Athletic Director Matt Keppel says that Baum has been a huge supporter of Maroons athletics for years in so many ways.
We really value the community. We've been here for a long time, since the 60s in Clinton. It's something that we look forward to being a part of, sponsoring and a lot of different events, donations. And then, when an opportunity comes along to come alongside the school district and really provide a need for them that kind of fits us, we jumped all over it. It really just fit.
Like he said, this is not the first time that Baum's has stepped up and been a real integral part about what we do. Whenever you come to a basketball game or a volleyball game, we needed to add on to our score table. I think it was last year, the year before, and we needed 2 extra 8-foot pieces. Well, Baum stepped up and was willing to donate and buy one of those for us. So their logo's on one of those, and then they're on our football scoreboard, all of our ball fields. I mean, Baum's just been a great partner for the school district for, I'm assuming, way before I got here, but at least in the 8 years I've been here, it's been a great relationship.
The trailer will primarily be used to haul equipment when it comes to away football games, but Keppel points out that it will see use for programs like marching band and even track at times.
Well, actually, it's funny you brought up football because we've talked about it, several years ago. It's always been kind of kicked around because when we go to a football game, we have to take extra buses just for the equipment that we have to take. So it did the conception kind of came through, but then I think about our band that has to go up to the square all the time, and they're taking 2 vans, loading drum sets and saxophones, and in 2 vans, well, they can just hook up this and take it up there, and it'll hopefully streamline things and make things easier for us. So when I got the email, I was like, this is really cool. And then the design, I don't know how many texts the day that it must have arrived on their lot before I'd even heard about it being done, because everybody said, hey, you seen the trailer? You seen the trailer? So then of course I got to go up there and look at it. So no, it turned out it's above and beyond what we could have ever wanted here. It's great. They kind of came up with the design themselves. Like, keep grinding is kind of something that a few years ago we came up because, when you're in through a tough season or whatever, you just need to keep grinding through because good things are going to happen. So we put it on some of our cabinets inside. We've got the best is yet to come on some cabinets. Look good, feel good, be good, which obviously it looks good. It's going to feel, you can't beat what this looks like. So those are just some slogans that we've had since in the last 8 years that it looks great on the back. I'm not going to lie. When I saw the back of it, I liked it too. And I didn't have anything to do with it, but I love the fact it's on there.
The trailer was unveiled last week and is prominently parked in the Clinton High School parking lot next to the football field. Check out highlights of the interview by finding WHOW on your preferred social media platforms. Coming up shortly on this expanded newscast, warmer weather on the way in central Illinois. A local school superintendent is teaming up with area leaders to start a nonprofit geared towards supporting their communities. Cerro Gordo School Superintendent Dr. Emily Widener explains that she and fellow leaders from around Piatt County are creating the Piatt County Women's Giving Circle. She says the goal is for women to pool their resources to support their local communities.
This is a Piatt County Women's Giving Circle, and it is kind of jump-started by the Heart of Illinois Community Foundation, and it is based on similar groups in Macon and Moultrie County. And the Piatt County version is called Rooted and Rising, and it's rooted in generosity and rising in impact. So essentially, it's a group of women in Piatt County who are agreeing to pool their resources to help out the communities in our county. Mary Boat, Chelsea Thomas, Connie Geyer, Andy Owens, Heidi Apperson, Kristen Wright, and Natalie Beck are the members of the steering committee. There's also a larger group of founding members. I can't recite them off the top of my head, but we had several meetings in the fall and spring leading up to kind of going live. All you have to do to be a member is make a donation. And then once we know our membership and our amount of money that we've raised through those donations, then we open up grants for local nonprofits. That could be schools, that could be civic organizations, it could be a food pantry, any variety of things within Piatt County. And then we have a social event where the members get to vote on the grants for those nonprofits.
The yearly membership donation amount is dependent on age, and Dr. Widener points out that what makes this group unique is that you can join as young as 16 years old.
The donation amount is also based on your age. And one of the things that I think is really cool about this specific group is that we've opened it up all the way down to 16-year-olds. So if you're 16 to 25, you pay $50 a year. 26 to 40, you pay $250 a year, and so on up to you could do a lifetime for $5,000. So there are different levels based on your age. You could pay in 2 installments, and it's a way to be able to give back without necessarily having to give a lot of time. You can go to the social events and vote, or you don't have to. So it is something that I'm really excited about. I'm excited to recruit people to join this, to teach my own daughters and my students about volunteerism and helping your community and philanthropy.
The funds that are donated are handled by the Heart of Illinois Community Foundation, which Dr. Widener says does great work in the area to support philanthropic efforts.
So the Heart of Illinois Community Foundation does amazing things throughout Macon and Piatt counties. So they are a charity organization that basically manages donations and grants. They do literally millions of dollars of charity work, and they've established this group in Macon County and Moultrie County. So they had the blueprint for us. They're heavily involved in this, and it was just kind of like, here's a great idea. How does it look in Piatt County? So there's a group of women who got together to form the steering committee, and that's where the bulk of the work happens. It's ideally for women to join this. They don't have to do a lot. They just make that donation, and then they get to vote in ways that they think would help communities in Piatt County. Heart of Illinois Community Foundation does handle the money. They've also made a donation that will allow us to give a grant on our very first night. So May 8th, we'll be able to give a grant that night to kind of kick things off.
The membership window for the group ends on June 30th. This allows them to assess how much money they have raised and open the grant cycle in the fall for local nonprofits.
Well, I think right now we're still trying to figure out how often we'll do events. The plan is to close the membership at the end of June 30th. So that way we know how much money we've raised, and then we can open up a grant cycle in the fall, and then have some kind of social event in the fall, probably in October, to give out those first rounds of grants. And then a lot of how often we do things will determine how many members we get, how much money we're raising, but we'll also be putting some of that money to the side to let it grow so we can kind of increase that impact. So part of what we raise will be immediately dispersed, part of it will be allowed to grow. And then, it just depends on how many members we get and how much money we raise, what we can do.
Sure.
But I think working with the Heart of Illinois Community Foundation, I've really discovered some of the nonprofit groups in Piatt County and all the things they do. And there is a need for these groups to have help. So I hope that we become a source of, a resource that they can rely on.
If you're interested in becoming a member of the Piatt County Women's Giving Circle, visit Heart of Illinois Community Foundation's website at heartofillinois.org. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
Spring into savings this May with a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Savings with a new car? Yes, with our fuel savings model like the Chevy Trax with 40 miles per gallon highway, the Chevrolet Trailblazer, and Chevrolet Equinox with 33 miles per gallon highway. And don't forget about our EV options, the Chevrolet Bolt and Equinox. Chevrolet, together let's drive. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
It's the quiet moments you count on. A call that connects instantly, a show that never buffers, a home that just works. That's the difference with Connexus Fiber Internet. We built a buried fiber network designed for consistency, earning us the title of top-rated fiber internet provider in Illinois. With plans starting as low as $25 a month and 3-year price lock options, it's reliability you can feel without the unpredictability. Because with Connexus, connection means everything. Experience better at Connexus.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 22 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. A very nice start to the week will be interrupted by a midweek cool down before we start to feel more like mid-May, just in time for the May Days Festival in Clinton. On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, Ed Shimon at the National Weather Service in Lincoln told the Heart Media Group the week began on a comfortable note with plenty of sunshine and a high near 71 yesterday. However, a cold front is expected to move through Tuesday evening, potentially bringing a few severe storms.
Absolutely, yeah. You see plenty of sunshine today. There's really no chance of a whole lot of cloud cover at all. Maybe some cirrus possibly, but otherwise, yeah, nice, comfortable day, 71. Real, not too breezy, northwest winds coming in here, but yeah, a real pleasant day. Can't beat it. We were a little cool this morning. I think we got down in the low 40s, creeping into that 30 range, but tomorrow night it'll be a little warmer, mid 40s, and then we hit 80 on Tuesday ahead of the cold front. So a little breezy tomorrow. If you got some dusty fields near you, you might have a little dust blowing across the roads when the winds get up near 40. We kind of pause a moment to say, hey, was there maybe some dust problems out there? So just got to be aware of that tomorrow anyway.
Wednesday and Thursday will return to quiet, sunny conditions with highs in the low 70s. Shimon indicates rain chances return Friday through Sunday.
Sure, yeah, return to sunshine on Wednesday, but it's going to be cooler. That cold front comes through with storms Tuesday evening, maybe a few severe storms. That level 105 risk for the whole area on Tuesday evening. And once that gets out of here, winds are going to shift around to the northwest for Wednesday with a high right around 70. Cool again Wednesday night, clear skies though, really no clouds at all. Wednesday night, lows around 44 or so for that DeWitt County area. Thursday, more sun, still right around 70, 71, so pretty comfortable, just a little bit below normal for this time of year. Thursday night, partly cloudy, really no precip in the forecast Thursday night, either 51 for a low. Rain returns as we head into the Friday and into the weekend time frame as the heat really builds back up again.
Despite a 30 to 50% chance of showers throughout the weekend, Shimon says the bigger story will be the heat and humidity. Highs are expected to jump to 83 degrees on both Saturday and Sunday, with dew points climbing into the 60s.
Yeah, starting Friday, we've got, right now it says 40% chance of showers in the morning, and then maybe some breaking up in the afternoon with some sunshine, but high around 75, but breezy. It's probably going to be some southerly winds there. Friday night, again, we've got 40% chance of showers. A few thunderstorms in the mix there, mainly in the evening with that one. But then Saturday night, Sunday, all kind of a mid-range 30 to 50% chance of showers in there. But the temperatures are going to ramp up. So there'll be some periods of sunshine, 83 for high, both Saturday and Sunday, but the humidity is going to be climbing up there. Dew points probably up into the 60s, which gets to be uncomfortable a little bit. So humid weekend, and the outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center are showing, heat risk there. We just had a heat risk briefing this morning, just kind of outlining the weekend. So if you had anything outside next weekend, which I understand you do have an event going on, you're going to want to have plenty of water planned in and maybe hydrate quite a bit just leading into it if you're going to be outside pretty much the whole time. Because our bodies are just not acclimated. Even at low 80s sounds like, oh, that's not a big deal. But, you dehydrate pretty quickly in the sun, especially if you're not acclimated.
Getting further into May, the outlooks start to show temperatures on the rise. We'll have much more with Shimon on the weather outlooks for May and beyond in the days ahead at the Heart Media Group. The Illinois State Police is offering safety advice for those motorists who encounter a dust storm. Trooper Ryan Wigand says you should exit the roadway and pull onto the shoulder.
And then something that sounds kind of weird, you want to go dark. Turn off all your lights, so that's your headlights, tail lights, hazards, flashers. Again, that probably sounds counterintuitive, but you don't want another car that can't see to think you're in the road and follow your lights. This is something we deal with in Chicago quite a bit if we're dealing with a large crash or maybe a shooting scene. There's 5 or 6 squad cars with lights on, and there's IDOT trucks assisting us. And we've had people where they just kind of follow the lights and they'll collide right into the IDOT truck. So it's important to turn off your lights in those situations. Just remembering that visibility will be very low, so other motorists can't see if you're actually moving or not. And another thing is setting your emergency brake when you are pulled over. The reason for that is we want you to take your foot off the brake, because when your foot's on the brake, your tail lights or your brake lights are gonna illuminate.
Wigan says motorists should also remain in the vehicle with their seatbelt on until the dust storm passes. In celebration of America's 250th, the Illinois State Museum is leading a project called Land of Stories America 250. They're asking Illinoisans of all walks of life to share their family stories. The museum's Erica Holst says the concept is simple. Do you have a story that's been told and retold in your family? Whether the story happened last week or 200 years ago, whether it involves a major historical event or an everyday occurrence, they're interested.
We are asking the people of Illinois to share their family stories. We believe that history isn't just wars and presidents and big things, that everybody who lives in Illinois has had a hand in shaping our state's history. Everyone's got stories in their family. Everyone's got personal experiences. And we want to hear them. The things that your dad told you about growing up, or your grandma told you, or, the kind of legends that are in people's families. That's all part of the fabric of the history of our state. So we're hoping that people will share them with us. If you go to our website at illinoisstatemuseum.org, you'll find a link close to the bottom and click on it, and that will take you to our survey. And you can go into it, and maybe you have a story in mind, and then just, type away. But if you need a little help, we've got some prompts. You could maybe tell us about somebody in your family that fell in love and has a wonderful love story.
Again, the website is illinoisstatemuseum.org. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. President Trump says the Iran ceasefire is on life support after Tehran's counter-proposal to a U.S. peace plan fell far short. The blockade of Iranian ports remains in place, and the president says that his bottom line remains the same. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. A senior Trump administration official says that Israel is helping the United Arab Emirates defend itself against Iranian aggression, sending Iron Dome missile defense systems as well as personnel to its Middle East neighbor. President Trump is preparing to depart Washington on a state visit to China. Beijing is a key Iranian ally. It buys a lot of oil from Iran. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures in the red so far. The Dow futures down 44 points. The NASDAQ futures are off 283 points. More details at srnnews.com.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds too. Get a quote right now at 800-555-2085, 800-555-2085, or biglou.com.
From the Heart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. In a game heard on WHOW and all its digital platforms, Hadley Humble hit a two-run homer in the fourth that helped the Clinton Maroons defeat the Shelbyville Rams by a final score of 9-7 in Central Illinois Conference high school softball action on Monday afternoon in Clinton. Trailing 3-0 in the bottom of the fourth, Hadley Humble launched a two-run homer that also scored Riley Fentress and sparked a game-winning rally for the Maroons. Kinsey Sickles and Laney Nichols singled, and Chloe Riddle was hit by a pitch to load the bases with one out on the board. A disputed infield fly ruling involving nine-hitter Olivia Haynes eliminated a potential inning-ending double play for Shelbyville. Still trailing 3-1 with the bases loaded and one out, a flurry of singles and a double by Avery Smith made the score 6-3 and set up a 2 RBI triple for Riley Fentress that made it 8-3. Shelbyville got on the board first with a solo homer from Alex Jokic in the top of the first inning. They got 3 runs back in the top of the fifth with singles from Kenzie Jones, Addison Musser, an RBI double from Claire Canada, and an RBI single from Talon Hancock to cut the Maroons' lead to 8-6. In the home half of the fifth, Haynes scored Nichols with a sac fly to add an insurance run and make it 9-6. Although Shelbyville got one back with a second solo homer in the top of the sixth from Jokic. Fentress led the Maroons offensively, going 3 for 4 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs. Humble was also 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 1 run scored. Sickles, Nichols, Thompson, and Riddle all added hits in the outing. Haynes went the distance in circle, allowing 7 runs on 12 hits, struck out 8, and committed 7 errors. Jokic was 3 for 4 on the day for the Rams with 2 RBIs and 3 runs scored, including 2 solo homers. Ayla Logan, Canada, and Hancock all posted 2 for 4 days, while Jones and Musser each added singles. Carly Bohm pitched 6 innings, allowing 9 runs on 10 hits, striking out 4 and walking 1. With the win, Clinton improves to 8-17 and 3-5 in Central Illinois Conference play. Shelbyville falls to 6-12 and 2-6 in the CIC. The two teams will face off once again on Wednesday in Shelbyville. Ryan Pine went deep and Josh Bass drove in 5 runs as Clinton scored 17 runs in the 7th inning to blow by Central A&M 22-1 in Central Illinois Conference play from Moweaqua on Monday. Pine drove in a game-best 6 runs to finish 4 for 4, a triple shy of the cycle. Bass was 2 for 4 with a double and 5 RBIs. Stone Stith had a double and drove in 2. Jack Manning tripled and drove in 2 runs as well. Mitchell Cornwell and Xavier Reynolds had 2 RBIs for the Maroons. Pine struck out 4 in 3 innings of shutout ball. Cornwell struck out 6 in 3 scoreless innings. Clinton is 16-11 overall. They will visit Monticello on Wednesday. Hear the action on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. In a game heard on WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com, Olympia's Gabby Fry outdueled Monticello's Cassidy Stoffel in a 1-0 win in non-conference high school softball action on Monday in Monticello. Stoffel and Fry went toe-to-toe, each going the distance in circle. Fry struck out the final 2 batters she faced to finish with 11 strikeouts while permitting only 4 hits. Stoffel struck out 10, walked 1, but worked out consistent trouble through the game. Her only blemish was a Finley Hoffman RBI single in the 4th inning. Kennedy Fincham was 2 for 4 to lead Olympia. Thea Key, Sadie Walsh, Stoffel, and Reese Steiger had the only hits for the Lady Sages. Olympia is 25-7 overall. Monticello drops to 20-8. Mount Pulaski jumped out big early and never looked back as they routed Buffalo Tri-City 12-2 in a 5-inning run rule win on Monday in non-conference high school baseball action in Mount Pulaski. Tyler Cross drove in a team-best 3 runs. Luke Martin drove in a pair of runs with a double. Keone Charon had 2 RBIs and added a double for the Hilltoppers. Mount Pulaski overcame 7 errors in the win. Preston Cohen struck out 4 in 5 innings of 2-run ball. Both runs were unearned. Mount Pulaski is 16-8 overall. They travel to Havana on Wednesday. Chase Marsh's run-scoring base hit scored 2 runs, and Lincoln walked off Rantoul 3-2 in non-conference high school baseball action on Monday in Lincoln. March's single scored Gage Rutledge, and Tate Au ended up scoring on an error in the outfield. Carson Footen struck out 9 in a complete game effort. The senior allowed 2 runs. 1 was earned on 4 hits with just 1 walk. Carson Komnick, Austin Lucas, Samson Kirka, and Kane Komnick each had a pair of hits for the Rail Splitters, who honored Kirka, Komnick, Footen, and Lucas for Senior Day before the game. The Railers go to 17-8 overall. They visit Springfield Southeast on Tuesday. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL Sports Wire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times today, with daytime highs approaching 81. Winds out of the southwest 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance for storms tonight, lows around 52. High temperatures reach up to 68. Tomorrow, bright sunshine expected. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently 52.